strategic laziness, and this firstly relies on us recognizing the value of our own time. Time is our most valuable non-renewable resource. It's the only thing we can't make more of. We can always make more money, but we can never make more time. And that's why, again, since I discovered this book and came across this idea, I've been trying to do whatever I can to optimize my time as much as possible. And I call this strategic laziness, right? Because a lot of the time there are things that we can do to automate processes that we do fairly regularly, things that we can do to speed up or be more productive in our tasks. So people see me as someone who's like completely obsessed with productivity. That's possibly true to some extent, but the reason that I love productivity so much is because it ultimately helps me save time. And so if there is an app or an automation or a macro that I can set up on my computer that makes doing a repeated task more efficient, then I'll put in the investment of time to set that up because I know it's going to save me time further down the line. The other way in which I use strategic laziness is to really ask, like, what is the point of this thing that I'm trying to do? You know, as I was going through university, as I was going through school, as I've been setting up my businesses, I always have in my mind, what is the outcome that I want? And for example, in my first year of medical school, I wasn't thinking like this. I was thinking, hey, I need to learn all of medicine because that's what makes me a better doctor. And I realized that that's actually A, not what the exam's about, and B, being a good doctor is not about just learning the entire textbook. And so the way I was approaching med school was in a very kind of heavy lift kind of fashion. I thought it had to be like really, really hard to learn the textbook. But then from my second year onwards for the next 5 years, I really asked myself, okay, how do I be strategically lazy about this? How do I make sure the stuff that I'm doing is the most efficient way of getting to my goal of A, being a good doctor, hopefully, and B, doing well in the exams? And I think you can apply this habit and this general principle to everything across business. You know, often when someone starts up a business for the first time, and I was guilty of this myself, we spend absolutely ages making a website and making a business card and making sure the logo is legit and spending hundreds of hours on this pointless stuff. Whereas if we're being strategically lazy, we recognize the end goal is to get customers and to sell them something. And so, you know, fancy website, logo, business card, it really doesn't help with that particular end goal.
That almost all millionaires read for 30 minutes a day. Now, what I found interesting was that he makes the distinction that millionaires are not out there reading the Harry Potter trilogy series, but instead they read for information. And this is something very true for myself as well. Like, I spend probably 2 to 3 hours every single day reading, but it's not in the form of books. Instead, I'm going through the internet. I'm reading all the comments here on YouTube. I'm seeing what people are posting on Reddit. I'm scouring the news. I'm hearing other viewpoints, and I'm trying to take in as much information as possible so I understand what's going on with the economy. Reading is certainly a good habit to have, but it's an even better habit to read other viewpoints without any judgment or bias. Chances are someone else knows more than you do. There will be people who disagree with you, and they might have a different thought process that you might not have considered. Just be open-minded to new information. Don't only listen to people who believe the same thing as you, and that in conjunction with reading is going to push you so much further with information you may otherwise have overlooked.
It's more of a mindset shift, really, and that is that most people don't become millionaires or achieve large amounts of financial success through their day job. Usually, if you want to acquire wealth in a short amount of time, you have to A, have multiple streams of income, and B, have streams of income that do not rely on you trading your time for money. I first came across this idea in Tim Ferriss's fantastic book, The 4-Hour Workweek, which is really all about how to build these multiple streams of income in a way that doesn't take over your life. And since about the age of 17, when I started looking at the world in this way and thinking that, okay, I need to not be reliant on my day job to make money, I need to make money through multiple streams of income, that habit, that mindset change allowed me to see lots of different opportunities in the world that I might not have seen otherwise.
Planning out today, the night before. I don't care at what time of the day you sign off. Maybe for you, you sign off work-wise at 6 p.m. and you're not really going to think about work the rest of the night. Maybe that you're going to a nice dinner, you're enjoying whatever it is. But the point is, when you finish up with your office work, whether that's you're starting an online business and you know that you're finished with your work blocks for the day, I want you to sign off in whatever way that works best for you. I've tried a bunch of stuff. I've assigned my non-negotiable tasks for the next day, which is just 1 or 2 things that I have to do, non-negotiables, and then 3 to 5 nice-to-haves. But the point is, if I finish those 1 or 2 non-negotiables, the entire day is a success in my mind. So I've done that, but not scheduled, hour by hour. And then I've gone to the point in the past where I've scheduled literally hour blocks. I'm doing this every single hour, and I follow a strict sort of hourly schedule. Things will change for you as time goes on. You'll find the flow that works best for you. These days I just set my 1 or 2 non-negotiables and then the nice to haves, because my schedule is always moving. And I started my first entrepreneurial venture 10 years ago at this point. So I really trust myself to know how to sort of morph and change my schedule depending on whatever the day can throw at me. So as I said, whether that's written on pen and paper, whether that's in the notes section of your phone or your computer, whatever works best for you. There's no right or wrong answer here. The point is, when you finish up your work for the day, go ahead and plan the next day. There's some crazy things that happen while you sleep, and there's some crazy things that happen overnight. Your brain is going to sort of mull over it, and your brain subconsciously is going to start thinking about the problems. And problems, I mean that in a positive way. The challenges, the puzzles that you have to go through the next day, and how you can do it as efficiently as possible. So plan the following day the night before.
What I want to talk about is treating failure as just feedback. You guys, listen up. This is so key, because most people give up after trying something once. That's most people. In fact, most people are so afraid of failure that they don't even try at all. If you try to start a business, you interviewed for a reach job, or put your money into something and it didn't work out, it's not because you suck, it's because something about your approach needs to be tweaked. Ray Dalio, founder of the largest, most successful hedge fund in the world, talks about how pain plus reflection equals progress. He says that if you're not sometimes failing, it means your goals are just not ambitious enough. You have to fail sometimes, which is the pain part of the equation, and then you have to reflect on that pain so that you can figure out what went wrong and ultimately do better. That is the formula for progress and success. And I would say Ray Dalio knows a thing or two about success. Back when I was doing job interviews in college, I was going for a very competitive position on Wall Street, and I would get tons of no's. Obviously, the rejection was depressing, but whenever I got a no, I would email the interviewer and ask, why didn't you pick me? And they would straight up tell me why I didn't make it to the next round or get the job. I smiled too much, I sounded immature, etc., etc., etc. And of course, it stings to hear stuff like that. Nobody really likes to hear the truth. But I would use that feedback to do better in my next interview. And after doing dozens of interviews and getting a lot of feedback like this, I got really good at interviews and ended up landing the sweetest freaking job ever. Remember guys, pain plus reflection equals progress. Failure isn't an anomaly. It doesn't mean anything about you. It's just part of the process. It's part of the equation. Become someone who can fail forward and you will succeed at everything you do.